it's Stark from Watcher Pass. Today I'm talking about Don't Make Me Go, which is coming to Amazon Prime on July 15th, 2022. It is a heartfelt coming of age and coming to terms film that has some really great actors and an interesting story, but my hot take is I think you should rent it. Look, this is one of those rare films where I thought that the ending didn't do the overall film justice. I really loved the movie up until the end, but the ending kind of threw me for a loop and changed some things about the movie and kind of, I don't know, just didn't make a lot of what we had experienced before really have as much meaning. It felt like it kind of changed the character of the movie when that ending happened. So overall, look, I think you should rent it. I really liked the build up to it, but sometimes a film will have an ending that just kind of doesn't really sit with me, and that can kind of soil the overall experience. I'm gonna tell you a little more about the film, the things I liked about it, the one thing I didn't like about it, which I think you probably already know, and then go very, very briefly into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the ending portion. If you don't want to know what happens in the film, turn it off at the ending section. I'll keep it spoiler free up until that point. So in Don't Make Me Go, you have Max, a single father played by John Cho, who decides to go on a road trip with his daughter, Wally, played by Mia Isaac, to go to his college reunion. There is something that comes up in Max's life that kind of causes him to want to go on a road trip and spend some more time with his daughter. And in this process, they see America, they learn more about each other. They also learn some beautiful and harsh truths about each other. The film is really a journey of kind of self-discovery and also a journey of kind of coming to terms with things. And all those things I really loved. So things I liked about this movie, the first, strangely, is I loved the music in this film. It had like a really nice upbeat soundtrack. It had some classic songs. It had some, maybe more modern songs, but overall, it really did help to kind of have this upbeat music for this road trip, because look, it's a road trip. You're going to want to have some good music, and this film definitely has it. It also does help to kind of blunt some of the more serious, heavy themes in this movie. This film has some overall heavy themes, and the fact that they go on this road trip and have this kind of whimsical music throughout, or this like fun, upbeat music throughout, does really help to kind of soften the overall kind of gravity of the situation. The second thing I really loved is John Cho. I thought he did a really good job in this film. He has to kind of carry a lot of the emotional side of this movie and also a lot of emotional nuance, and he does a fantastic job. The story has some, like I said, some fairly heavy tones, and a lot of that is put on John Cho through most of the movie. And so the fact that he was able to do it and kind of handle his role of like single father, but also dealing with some other aspects going on, is really just a testament to his acting chops. And the last thing I really loved is the writing. This film had some really clever writing, some really fun writing. There's a decent amount of humor in this movie that will cause you to smile, cause you to chuckle, but there's also some really, really well-written parts where people will say things that have more meaning because you kind of know more about what's happening in the story. You find out early on things about the story, and then when certain comments are made or certain things happen, like because you know more about the story, it kind of hits home or hits like doubly hard. And so I really love that aspect. I love kind of when people would say things like, ooh, like that should hurt. But the character just kind of have to like sit there and grimace because either they don't know what's going on, or they know but they can't really say more. The thing I didn't love about this movie, and the reason why I kind of made it a rental, is I didn't love the ending. I thought the ending really changed. Like I said at the start in the hot take, I thought the ending kind of changed the character of this film. It kind of, I don't know, minimize some of the things that we had already been through in this movie. And also felt like it was maybe trying to go for a surprise ending. So it really just kind of like left a sour taste in my mouth, which is strange because I really did love the movie up until that point. So very briefly going to the ending, and like I said, there will be spoilers here. If you don't want to know what happens in the film, turn this off now. I will spoil the ending, which means I will spoil the film. So in Don't Make Me Go, John Cho finds out early on that he has bone cancer in his skull. And so the options are to operate on it, where he is given about a 20% chance to survive, or to just kind of let it play out, and he has about a year. He chooses to let it play out. He is a single father. His daughter, Wally, is kind of like in high school, still trying to figure out life. And he thinks, you know what, like I can't leave her right now. This operation doesn't really give me a good chance to survive. I'm going to spend this year making sure her life is in order before I go. It's kind of a strange choice. Like I think, if there was a chance, and then part of like kind of the message in this film is like, if there's a chance, you should take it. But he chooses what he thinks is best, and so starts to kind of prepare for that. And part of that preparation is Wally has no other family. It's just Max. Her mother, Nicole, left when Wally was just a baby to kind of pursue her dreams, and because I don't think she was ready to be a mother. And so Max has raised Wally by himself since then. So part of him preparing for when he's gone is he wants to have Wally reconnect with her mother, so at least she'll have some family when he's gone. And in order to do that, he decides to go to this college reunion that's happening in Louisiana. He hasn't seen all these people from college, but he thinks that Nicole will be there because the person that she ended up marrying is also coming to that reunion. So the film has a nice road trip where you get to see a bunch of places. I kind of kept a running tab. You get to see some really fun places. You start in California, you go to New Mexico, they end up going to Texas for part of the trip, and then they end up in Louisiana. But what you find out in Louisiana is that Nicole and Dale, who she married and also used to be Max's friend, split up, and Nicole is now living in Florida. So after the reunion, they eventually decide to go to Florida. But when they get there, they finally meet Nicole, and she is just not in a place to re-enter Wally's life. I think she has a little bit of shame. I think she also is just kind of like, doesn't really know how to do this. And also maybe she just doesn't want to have any part of that past life in her current life. She kind of has finally pulled it together and is, maybe just trying to kind of keep everything stable. There's a few reasons given. It is a strange scene, but you find out that Nicole doesn't want to have anything to do with Wally. When Wally finds this out, she is understandably upset. She actually doesn't find it out. Like, Max lies to her and says, "Oh, hey, it's not a good time for her. We're coming back tomorrow, and then we'll meet up." Wally is a smart kid. She's pretty sharp. She eventually figures out, what happened, and that causes her to freak out and causes her to just drive off in their car. Max is able to get in, but Wally drives just sporadically. She is upset. She is kind of not thinking, and she drives like a maniac until she eventually hits a car. And this is when you finally have the big, reveal for Max. Max finally tells Wally like what the whole point of this road trip was, what the point of like connecting with her and spending all this time with her was, and why he's been so interested in like teaching her things for her future. During this road trip, he like taught her to dance. He, asked her about college. He tried to kind of like really get some things in line for her. And now she finds out why, because he has cancer. And she is understandably upset about this because he hid it from her. And then also that he made this decision to not tell her and also not go through the surgery. She is, basically saying like, there's a chance you could come out of the surgery and there is zero chance if you don't. Like, why would you even make that choice? And so after this argument, and I loved this scene, I thought it was really well written. It kind of starts as an argument, then kind of goes more heartfelt and kind of has like a lot of emotions throughout that are kind of mixing together. They decide to go celebrate, and Wally, throughout this road trip, she has learned that her father has kind of sacrificed his dreams for her. He doesn't go out and say it, but she picks it up from a few people that she meets along the way. And so she says, "You know what? I want you to live your dream and to kind of like remember the things that you used to love." So she takes him to a karaoke bar and signs him up to sing a song. Max used to love singing. They used to kind of think he may be able to do this professionally. And so he finally gets up on stage and starts singing. There's a nice rendition of Iggy Pop's The Passenger. And during this, Wally is happy and like dancing and loving it. And then she faints. And Max runs over to her, like, tries to kind of like revive her, call an ambulance. And this is not the first time that Wally's fainted. She fainted earlier when she was with her boyfriend and he kissed her and she like, thought, "Oh my gosh, like I was so overwhelmed that I fainted." And it's a few other instances where they kind of hint that maybe something's going on, although they don't really overtly hint it. There was one time after a keg stand when she was a little dizzy, but she also had tried beer for the first time. And then there was also a time in the car when she was like sweating from stress. And so what you find out, and this is where the film kind of turns, the next scene is a funeral scene. And you see, some of Max's friends there. So you're wondering like what's going on. And then you see Max in a suit over, with a program with a picture of Wally on it. And you find out that Wally had like a heart condition, and I think it was an enlarged heart that could cause her heart to stop at any moment. It was never caught because it was always kind of explained away. And this instance, this like, time when she was in the karaoke bar, that was the excitement that caused her heart to stop. And so she ended up dying. And again, it was a strange way to end this. It felt like they were trying to like throw us for a loop. And through this all, Wally is kind of narrating this. She starts off narrating at the very start and then kind of ends narrating this scene as well. I don't know. To me, it felt very weird to have that happen. Like it felt like the film was all about the emotional buildup of Max trying to come to terms with his death and trying to like prepare Wally, and then to have Wally just kind of like instantly go away, it felt off. It felt like, you know, this was like a surprise ending or trying to like throw the audience for a loop. It also made it feel a little bit more like a, I don't know, like a young adult type of movie where it's like Wally narrating from the grave about like how what's happened and how like, you know, her experiences changed her dad. I just didn't love it. I thought it didn't really feel natural for this film. And then, you know, the whole film is about Max and trying to like come to terms with his mortality. And then all of a sudden, like now Wally's gone. And then he decides like, hey, I'm gonna do the surgery. Like you would, I mean, I think she wanted to do it, but I feel like if I had lost my only daughter, continuing on would be the last thing I would want. So you know, that felt strange. But he decides to have the surgery. He ends up surviving, and then, you know, in this Wally narration that's going on, you find out that, you know, he is now going to live his life to the fullest. And you see him moving in with his girlfriend, who had been kind of standoffish earlier, but as he had gone through this like bone cancer road trip, she and him connected more over the phone. So he's moving in with his girlfriend. He's trying to like live life. He's trying to like not be the kind of closed off person that he was before. And so I guess it's a happy ending because now Max is going to have a better life, but Wally's gone. So like again, I just didn't love the ending. It felt strange. It felt off. But you know what? That is Don't Make Me Go. I think you should at least rent it. It's streaming on Amazon Prime, so you can check it out if you have an Amazon Prime membership. Definitely at least check it out. Like rent it, stream it, whatever you want to do. But it's a really fun build up to the ending, and you should probably watch the ending because you've been through that journey anyways. But my recommendation is to rent it or stream it. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.